to discuss is your Quit India movement. Quit India movement. Underline, World War II broke out in 1939. Means World War II started in 1939. Underline, when it started in 1939. So Britishers at that time, they were forcing Indians that you should join into the war without the consent of Indian leaders. So Britishers were forcing Indians that you should join into the war without the consent of the Indian leaders. In a protest was going on. In a protest, Congress government, you know, na, previous we have read this, that Congress government was formed in many states. So Congress government, where it was formed in the provinces here means states. In whichever provinces, in whichever states the Congress government was formed, they all resigned from their posts. The Congress government, which was formed in the provinces underline, right there it means states. So they have resigned from there because they were protesting that why the Britishers are forcing us to join the World War II. Okay, so Congress government, they resigned in provinces. Congress government demanded that give us complete independence, give us Purna Swaraj before joining the war. They said, okay, give us full independence, give us complete independence, Purna Swaraj before joining the war. But British government, they turned down their demand. They said no. They said no to Indians. They said, no, we will not complete your demand. Okay, we will not fulfill your demand. British government said no to them. Okay, so what happened? World War II broke out. Okay, year you have to remember. World War II broke out in 1939. Britishers were forcing Indians to join the World War II without the consent of Indian leaders. So protest was going on. In the protest, Congress government in the provinces in which states they were formed, they resigned. Provinces means states. In whichever state the Congress government was formed, they resigned. They demanded complete independence, that complete independence should be given before joining the World War II. But British government said, no, we will not fulfill your demand. They turned down their demand. For assuring Indian cooperation, now Britishers want Indians corporation here. Okay, for assuring that all the Indians should cooperate, Britishers, they sent Sir Stafford Cripps. It is a person name, Sir Stafford Cripps. This person came on a mission. What was his mission? To tell Indians to cooperate with the Britishers in World War II, that they should participate. So Britishers sent a mission under Sir Stafford Cripps, okay, that Indians should cooperate with Britishers, but it was not fruitful. Fruitful means Indians also, it was not a positive response from the Indian side. It was not fruitful. This Sir Stafford Cripps, he came on a mission and his mission failed. Okay, this mission was not fruitful, means it failed. Failed means Indians said no for cooperation. So under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji, Indian National Congress started a movement. That movement name was Quit India Movement. So under the leadership of your Gandhi ji, Indian National Congress, they started a movement and movement name was Quit India Movement. Britishers immediately arrested Gandhi ji at that time because he was the leader of Quit India movement. So Britishers immediately arrested Gandhi ji and many other leaders who were joining this movement, Quit India movement. Subhash Chandra Bose was elected president of Indian National Congress twice. Underline. Who was appointed as the Indian National Congress president twice? That is Subhash Chandra Bose. Underline. Subhash Chandra Bose was elected president of Indian National Congress twice. So he ran away from India. He escaped from India in 1941 to organize an army. Why he escaped? That he wanted to organize an army for the Britishers, to fight against the Britishers. So Subhash Chandra Bose, he escaped from India in 1941 to organize an army to fight with the British from outside the country. Year also remember when he escaped, underline 1941, to organize an army outside the country. So in 1943, underline, in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose, he formed your Azad Hind Fauj. He formed Azad Hind Fauj and Indian National Army. Okay. In 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose, he formed Azad Hind Fauj or Indian National Army with the help of Japan. Which country helped? Japan. With the help of Japan, Subhash Chandra Bose formed Azad Hind Fauj and Indian National Army. This army, the Indian National Army or Azad Hind Fauj, main aim was to free India from the British rule. Their main aim was to free India from the British rule. He gave two slogans also, underline, Jai Hind and Delhi Chalo, underline. He gave two slogans also, Jai Hind and Delhi Chalo. World War II, when it started, 1939. When it ended, 1945. 2 years before our independence. So World War II ended in 1945, underline. Now Britishers, after when World War II was finished, ended. Now Britisher realized that now we cannot control Indians. Okay, now it was very difficult for them to rule over India. They realized this thing, that now no longer we can rule India. Britishers agree that we will free India, but the country would be divided into India and Pakistan. You remember the Britishers' policy of divide and rule? We had a talk about divide and rule policy Britishers used to follow. So they agreed to free India, but partition will be there of India and Pakistan. So this was the result of divide and rule policy. India and Pakistan was divided and it led to the partition of our country. This policy of Britishers, divide and rule policy, it led to the partition of our country. Because of this, our country was parted into two parts, India and Pakistan. India became free on 15th August 1947, underline, when we got independence, 15th August 1947. And India's first Prime Minister was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And first President was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. India's first Prime Minister was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And India's first President was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Here, your chapter is finished. You want to ask any question, you can ask in the chat.